So, for the month of January, I read a grand quantity of books. And by grand, I mean 5. So, I'd like to share them with you. So, the books I read were The Hating Game, which I got at the library. Then I read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, Normal People by Sally Rooney, The Abundance of Catherine by John Green, and then I'm reading right now currently Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. So I'm gonna get a little review. So yeah. Okay, so for the first book I read in January, it was Normal People by Sally Rooney. So Normal People by Sally Rooney is about this girl named Marianne and a guy named Conell. Anyways, Conell, yes, Conell. Anywho, they grew up in a small town, and Marianne's kind of known as being like that little weird girl, like very off-worldy. And then Conell is obviously more popular, plays soccer. They call it football because, you know, UK. It's very not by standards, you know. It's like this entire book is about like kind of miscommunication, and it just develops into their relationship over the years. If that makes sense, because it goes over like high school to post-high school to college. I don't know, it's just like really weird. Like books tend to romanticize things a lot, while this book I feel like doesn't really romanticize anything. Like it just goes like into like full on facts, like facts, bro. And she portrays her character flaws like so well. Like Marianne, as caring she is, she doesn't like herself that much, and she's like sometimes not that good of a person. And same thing with Conell, like he is like the epitome of not good at communication. And like they all got like issues at home. Like I'm not gonna go into detail because I won't spoil it, but they all got issues at home. Kind of goes into depth like the reality of stuff. Like no matter how different the paths they take in life, like no matter how different they are, they always seem a way to like connect with each other. Not necessarily romantically, but just like connect. Like they never seem to escape each other, you know? I'd give it 4 out of 5. So here's the next book, The Abundance of Catherines. This book gets a lot of hate, and I love it. I love the book. The book is about a child prodigy, and basically just his entire life and his romantic life is he only dates the girls with the name Catherine, but Catherine specifically with a K, and this is basically his love life. And just the way he thinks. Like he thinks, this man eats, sleeps, and breathes in theories and equations. And I just love John Green. People hate on John Green a lot, and I just love him. I think I might just have a thing for geniuses because I also really like Spencer Reid, and this guy reminds me of Spencer a lot. I don't know. His friendship with Hassan is so interesting. Like it's so not great, but it's so cute, but not great. I can understand why this could get boring. I mean, it did take me like a week, 2 weeks to read, but it's not something like I have like, yes, like cliffhanger every time. It's kind of like a very flat story. So like the message of this entire book is that no matter how important you are or you could be, you will be forgotten. Like no one is important enough to be remembered forever, you know? Because this guy, like his entire thing is just to be known. Huge character flaws. This kid's not that great of a person, but it's like a good book. I really enjoyed it. I was like, wow. Oh my god, and the thing I love about this book is that he knows so many facts, right? Because he's smart. So like he'd say something in a different language, or he'd say like a really big word, and then it'll have a little asterisk by it, and then on the bottom of the page and like the footnotes, John Green would put like what it means or what he means by that, and like it's just so cute. So I'd give it a 5 out of 5. I don't care. This book, I love it. I'll just love it. And then like the random math equations is just so cool. I don't know, I just think John Green is a freaking genius, and I'm in AP World History, and watching Crash Course, I watch it for fun. I love John Green. John Green enthusiast. Cue the Mongol footage. So the next book I'm going to speak about is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This book is listed as a romance, but before you go into this book, it is not a romance. And if you think it's a romance, you're sick psycho, because this is not a romance. This is about breaking the cycle. I'm not going to state what cycle it is, or else it's going to spoil the entire book, and I don't want to do that to you. So, for all you could know, have been the life cycle, it could have been the cycle of an animal, it could have been the cycle of a freaking bug. You're going to think it's a romance 3/4 way into the book, but then once you reach that little last portion, you know it's not romance. And people hate on her writing style, but girl, Colleen Hoover, freaking goddess. Lily's the main character of this book, and it's about like her relationship with some dude. There's two dudes, so have fun picking which one it is. One of them turns out to be a complete douchebag. You follow Lily throughout this process of falling in love with him. You're watching Lily contemplate like letting go, and it's like hard for the reader too, because the reader also fell in love with this kid, you know? So it's not like you're watching it from an outside point of view and you're like, oh my god, Lily, just do it. I was like, when I was reading it, I'm like, but he's hot. But like, but he's not. It's like about the cycle. It's such a good book. The cover means everything to the story. So once you finish the story, you're like, oh my god, that cover makes so much sense. Wow, Colleen Hoover, you're so cool. I want to read more of your books. That was a good book in my opinion. So, oh, doorbell. We're talking about number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is The Hating Game. Insert image right here. I read it in freaking 2 days. 2 days. 2 school days, may I add. 2 school days. Anyways, I'm proud of myself for that. But it's like this extremely, sorry, I'm like kicking my feet up. But it's an extremely easy read. Like the epitome of easy read. So the book is about a rivalry between 2 co-workers. Some like really short girl and like some really tall guy. Which also, I have a thing with height differences and I hate it. It might be because I'm freaking 5'10", but I hate height differences. Joshua and this girl, right? Well, she's tiny and she's like tall, so it's like this. But it's so cool because she's like such a boss. She's such a boss. I love her. I guess you can just assume this is an enemies to lovers. Ew. I hate saying that. I make fun of that so much. But it is. It was pretty dinger. It was extremely predictable. You can just assume what happens. They're cute because they have little games in their minds with each other. Like, she writes down every time every time I think he fights with his boss, I think she writes that down every time. And then like they have like random games, like a game like where they just copy each other. And they just do everything they can to aggravate each other, and it's so cool. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like keeping up with that. This man has freaking baby blue walls, and I'm sorry, I couldn't imagine that. It was bad. This man has baby blue walls. And the entire family dynamic, oh my god. There was this one portion when she screamed at his family, and everyone like I've seen, it's like, oh my god, that was such a boss moment. I'm like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing for yourself. 4 out of 5 for that book. Freaking 0 out of 5 for the freaking movie. I just watched the trailer and I can tell you it sucks. So we have February TBR. So February is a shorter month. You are aware of that, I hope. So bear with me, it's a rather short list. I have this lovely book, The Midnight Library. So it's a relatively popular book, but I only picked it up because my history teacher recommended it, and I love Miss Lewis with all my heart. I read the description. This book's actually pretty good. So the book is about some midnight library, right? And some girl named Nora. Well, Nora discovers this midnight library, and each book allows her to live different parts of her life differently. So that's like a pretty interesting spin to things. I don't know, I've read a lot of romance, like growing up, always. I don't know, that's been the genre I've always read, romance. And lately I've been getting into more just fiction. I read Little Fires Everywhere. I like reading realistic fiction, so like that and Virgin Suicides. Like Normal People, that's like realistic fiction. Next book I'm reading is The Beach Read. It's a book talk book, very popular. So let me tell you what it is. This book is about complete polar opposites. I think they're 2 authors, and they're neighboring beach houses for 3 months. So, I hate to say it again, I really do, but I'm reading Enemies to Lovers. But yes, I'm reading this. It's a really cute contemporary cover. I love contemporary covers, and I haven't picked it up yet, but The Spanish Love Deception. I've saw some TikToks about it, and it looks so cool, and plus, Spanish Love Deception. Yo hablo español, entonces este libro es para mí. Y lo vi en TikTok, por eso lo voy a leer. I'm gonna buy Verity soon. I'm gonna read Verity by Colleen Hoover soon because I need to read more Colleen Hoover. I'm no longer Catholic. I now just believe in one God and one God that is Colleen Hoover. Y'all vibe with the Yale? I don't know. I'm kind of gonna go there. Those are my books I like to want to read and have read.